What is up everyone, Mark here, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today I'm going to be going over my top 10 songs for Vidbir 2023. Now this is the Ukrainian national final for Eurovision 2023, and last year's Vidbir was great, and this year is shaping up to be no different. Comment right now who your winner is for Vidbir, and without further ado, let's get into my number 10 spot, which is Oi Tuzhu. Now this song is interesting. I really didn't know what to think about it at first, and normally I do like more experimental songs. Like if you remember from the Lithuanian national final, I really was a big fan of Not Your Mother, which is one of the most experimental songs we've gotten in a national final, but this song didn't really quite work for me. While I do like the experimental direction the song takes, I'm not a big fan of the electro sound, and the song just doesn't really do it for me overall. I find that it doesn't really feel very cohesive, and just isn't quite my cup of tea. However, I do respect that it's trying to do something different, and I do like that aspect of it, so for me, the song is going to get a 6 out of 10. With that, let's move on to my number 9 spot on this list, which is vdoma. And this song is nice, it's pleasant to listen to. I actually do like this song as a song. I think just for me, it's not the song that I would want to see in Eurovision. It's not a song that I can really see doing well in Vidbir, and it doesn't really have much of an impact besides, of course, being just a nice little song to listen to. I will say I have been playing it while editing videos, while relaxing. Like, it is a relaxing song, but it just doesn't have that extra flair that I think a lot of the other songs on this list have. I think what it comes down to for me is that this song just isn't as memorable as my top 8, so that is why it gets the spot on my list. I think for me, I'm going to give this a 6.5 out of 10. It's not bad at all. I actually think it's quite nice, but it just doesn't have that extra memorability for me to rank it any higher. So with that, let's move on to my number 8 spot on this list, which is Alive. This song is not necessarily my type of music. On first listen, I really wasn't a big fan of this song, but I will say it has grown on me a bit. It is nice to listen to. The vocals are very good, and while this is a song that I definitely have heard dozens and dozens of times before, I do have some nice things to say about it. I mean, the production value is great. As I mentioned, the vocals are great. The instrumental is very nice to listen to. The song actually did kind of take me on a journey too, which I really liked. The song for me wasn't boring. A surprise for me because normally songs like this, I just hit the skip button on. I'm not sure if I would listen to this again, but I was able to enjoy it the whole way through. It just doesn't stand out at all, in my opinion, from the set of songs for Vidbir. It really just sounded like any other song you get on the radio, so it really just feels less authentic than the other songs too for me. So that is why I give this song a 7 out of 10. Again, not bad. I think this is a fairly good song. I just don't like it as much as my other ones on this list. I don't think it stands out as much. So with that, let's move on to my number 7 spot, which is I'm Not Alone. And this song, similar to my last one, it's not a song that I would listen to all the time, but I actually like how unique it is. While the lyrics are not really my cup of tea, I think the lyrics I'm not alone, I'm by myself are kind of silly in my opinion. Maybe I'm missing the point of the song, but I do like the instrumental a lot. I think the violin aspects are great. There's even a violin solo towards the end, which I loved. Moisei, I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce his name, his voice is actually really good too. I will say some critiques aside from the lyrics. The song kind of drags a bit in the middle, but it does pick up towards the end when that violin solo happens, and also that final chorus I thought was really good. But yeah, that middle part, I was starting to lose interest in the song, but it did pick up towards the end. I think overall the song is pretty good, not my favorite, but pretty good, and the instrumental again is fantastic. I love the inclusion of the violin. I'm a big fan of violins. Alexander Rybak Fairy Tale is still one of my favorite Eurovision songs of all time, so that was a big reason why I put this song so high, but I still don't like it as much as my other 6 songs on this list. So I give I'm Not Alone a 7.5 out of 10. With that, let's move on to my number 6 spot, which is Stronger. Even though it's not really my type of music, even though it's not the most unique, it does sound incredible. I think Angelina has a fantastic voice. It really did impress me, to be honest. And again, it hasn't quite grown on me in further listens, but I think it is still a very good song, and I really do love the instrumental, the piano at the beginning. This is definitely a song that I would want to play on the piano. I think the ending of the song definitely needs to be more impactful, and I wish it would have included a lot more high notes to keep the song from being too repetitive. So I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. I think that this definitely has potential live, especially if Angelina hits all these notes. And while it's not my winner or in my top 5, this is still a very good song, and Angelina should be very proud of herself for her vocal performance and just for how powerful the song sounds. So with that, let's move on to my number 5 spot, which is Kvitka. Kvitka is a song that I actually love. This is exactly my type of music. This went straight to my playlist after first listen. I love the way it combines rock and rap. I did not know how much I needed Ukrainian rock in my life until this song. While this is a song that I would listen to again and again on Spotify, it's not the song that I really want to see on the Eurovision stage. I don't think it's super unique in certain ways. I don't think it would really stand out that much in Eurovision. I don't think it has quite the impact that the songs in my top 4 have, that I think make them better contenders for the Eurovision Song Contest. However, the song is really good. I like it a lot, and I definitely want to see more from these artists. For me, that song gets 9 out of 10. I think it is really, really good. And if they have really great staging, this song can definitely be a contender for at least the top 5, and potentially might even be Eurovision material. I'm really excited to see how they stage this song, because the song really is one that I like a lot. Definitely one of my personal favorites. But with that, let's move on to my top 4. I think all these 4 songs are definitely Eurovision material. So without further ado, let's get into my number 4 spot, which is Heart of Steel. This song is so good in my opinion. Maybe not the most unique in the sense of standing out from all music nowadays, but I think it does stand out in this competition I think it has such a great dark kind of synth sound to it, which I love. That works so well for me. I think this song has perfect production value. It's super catchy, and when I first listened to it, I added it straight to my playlist. I have a whole playlist of National Final favorites, and this went there within the first 30 seconds. The lyrics are pretty average though, to be honest, but I feel like it works for this song. This song actually kind of made me think of Unholy by Sam Smith. They have that similar dark atmosphere, which I really like, but again, that kind of makes this song for me sound a bit less unique. Overall though, I really like it a lot. This is definitely one of my favorites here. I really cannot wait to see this on stage because I think this has a lot of potential to really deliver. I did hear something though. I think Tvorchi performed live maybe like a couple years ago and their vocals were not so good. So I hope that is not the case this time around. I really am looking forward to seeing this song live. I'm really looking forward to seeing what these artists do on stage. So with that, for me, this song gets another 9 out of 10. I think it is really good, but just doesn't quite resonate with me or stand out as much as the songs in my top 3 do. With that said, let's move on to my number 3 spot on this list, which is Kolyskova, which I hope I'm pronouncing correctly. And this song is lovely. It's like a lullaby, really. It's a very soft, slow song, which is not normally my type of music, but it works, and it has a lot of traditional elements too that I like a lot. The instrumental is fantastic. This song uses traditional instruments. I love the use of the bandura, which is an instrument that I've never heard before in music, and I also like the spoken part in the middle. I'm not sure if I should call that rap or not, but it kind of sounds like it, which I like a lot. It kind of breaks up the monotony and really just kind of grabs your attention for that little middle part, which helps the song stay interesting throughout. I also looked up the lyrics after listening to the song, and the lyrics are nice too, but they're also very subtle and poetic, which I respect and appreciate a lot. It definitely is one of my favorites in this competition, and if it goes to Eurovision, I can see it doing very well if not winning. For me, this song gets a 9.5 out of 10. It is nearly perfection, and with that, let's move on to my number 2 spot, which is Dovbush. This song is super fun and super creative. I actually like it a lot. It's got like a trap kind of beat to it, which really makes it stand out, and it's just such a good time throughout. This song for me is the most danceable song of Vidbir this year. It is hard to sit still while listening to this song, and I think that definitely is in large part to the beat, and while I think the song might rely a little bit heavily on the beat, the lyrics and the vocals really make the song work a lot too. I think my favorite part of the song is actually that little key change towards the end, where the song becomes very slow, and it kind of builds up, and it sounds very traditional in that part too, which I like a lot, and it keeps ramping up until it gets to that last chorus, and that worked really well for me. That was actually really cool and creative, and just another great thing about this song that I like a lot. This song for me has a fantastic mix of modern and traditional elements, which I think make it stand out a lot in this competition, and that's a big part of why I really want to see this live in Vidbir, why I want to see it do really well in Vidbir, and why I think this is a pretty good contender for Eurovision. The song is super catchy, super fun, and I think if this goes to Eurovision, this is going to make all of Europe dance. For me, this song gets another 9.5 out of 10. I think it is nearly perfect, so much fun, and just, again, a great mix of traditional and modern elements that makes this song super unique and just one of my all-time favorites. So with that, let's move on to my number 1 spot on this list, which is Now, this song is definitely the kind of song that will grow on you as it goes along. At first, I wasn't a super big fan of this song. I thought it felt a little bit messy just because I was really trying to figure out what was going on. She's talking about this door and falling on the floor and then this and that, and there was a rap part, and I was like, what's going on here? But I think when the song really clicked for me was that Ukrainian part. Once she starts singing in Ukrainian, I was like, okay, this is it. This is the one. That was when I knew that this song was something special, and it only got better from there. For me, the second half of this song is vastly more interesting than the first. While the song as a whole is phenomenal, I think that second half really sells it for me, really drives it home, and makes this song my favorite in the competition. Again, I think the English part is pretty decent too. The English lyrics to me are fine. Again, a little bit clunky just because, of course, this is not the singer's first language, and I don't want to falter for that. But like I said, that Ukrainian part really makes up for all of it. This song, for me, out of all the songs in Vidbir this year, I think has the best chance of winning Eurovision, and I can see this staged kind of similar to Euphoria, actually. When I was listening to this song, I was like, yeah, I can see this kind of having a Euphoria type staging, and if this song is staged well, this might be my winner for Eurovision 2023. That's how good it is. That last part, especially when they're speaking in Latin too towards the end as the song ramps up, really works for me. It sounds very epic. It takes me on a journey, and that's why for me this song is my favorite of this competition. Again, it's not perfect. That's why it gets a 9.5 out of 10 for me, just like my last two, but I think the song is the one that has the best chance of winning Eurovision, the one that really just stood out the most for me, and the song that I listen to day in, day out because of how phenomenal that second half is. I think one thing I would also add to the song is maybe a final chorus towards the end. The song is actually a little bit short. It's only like 2 minutes and a half, I think. So there's a lot of stuff I think you can really add to that extra 30 seconds to make this song stand out so much more, and I think one of those things is to have a last chorus, just because as the song builds up in Latin, there isn't really much of a payoff there, and I think if there was one little last tidbit or one maybe last high note or something like that to really just bring it all home, I think that would really make me like this song a lot more and maybe make me give this a 10 out of 10. But regardless, even this song as is, I think is winner material for Eurovision overall, and I think is just one of my favorite songs that I've heard in the past year. That has been my list for Vidbir 2023. Let me know what you think down below. Let me know who your winner is for Vidbir, if you agree or disagree with my list. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all next time. Peace.